Was Ric Flair coming back to wrestling really as bad as many people thought it was? Could Rick continue to live up to the hype, even after a retirement in 2008?
Jet flying, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun that could kiss any woman right here, even that fat one.
Could it be so bad that it would simply cause fans to erupt over the legend, Ric Flair?
The Nature Boy, Rick Flair!
Or was it simply all a fluke? Okay. I get it. 35 years ago, Ric Flair was probably your favorite wrestler. Looking back on things now, do you kind of have to ask yourself a little bit more? I'm just saying. That's it. I'm just saying. Recently, if you guys do not know, Ric Flair has been in the news. Well, Ric Flair has been in the news for some very controversial things. I know for a long time he was the 16-time world champ, the greatest of all time, but as time's gone on and he's kept himself relevant, it's only kind of dug him a hole deeper than most of us would actually like, right? You see, Ric Flair years ago was the man. Styling, profiling, the whole nine. But looking back on it now, we're questioning things. See, Ric Flair was supposed to retire back in 2008 after his match with Shawn Michaels. And while it happened, did it really happen? Because he ended up going to TNA. And in TNA, he would continue on to kind of tarnish his own legacy. Now, this is just my personal take. I don't want you guys to think that you are supposed to be steered one way, because that's not the case. In fact, it's not the case at all. You should think for yourself, and you should, have opinions for yourself. This is just my opinion. My opinion says that what Ric Flair is doing is wrong. See, recently, there was a taped episode of AEW Rampage this past week, and they actually had to cut some things out. Rick went on to AEW Rampage, and he told the women 18 to 28 to meet him at his hotel, to leave the boyfriends and the husbands, right? AEW actually had to go in and cut this segment out. Ric Flair would later go on to make a tweet and say if he's embarrassing AEW, he's willing to walk away, which, in hindsight, good for him. Right? Good for him to realize that he does not want to be a problem. And Rick's not meaning to be a problem. I want to make that clear. It's just some of the things that he's accustomed to from a life long ago is not the same life that we live today. See, long ago, you might have been able to get away with a line like that. But today, it's a little bit harder than most of us would like, right? Today, we live in a world of respect, as one should. And many would see what Rick said is very disrespectful. You see, just not long ago, Ric Flair was actually a part of Dark Side of the Ring. Dark Side of the Ring featured the Plane Ride from Hell episode. And in that episode, Tommy Dreamer would talk about what Ric Flair was doing on the plane that I'm not going to fully get into in this video. But if you would like to go check out the video, you're more than welcome to. You can go watch the episode for yourself. In fact, it's a very interesting episode. But not to get off topic. You see, Ric Flair, for a long time, has been a part of a lot of controversial things. Now, my heart says that, hey, Rick, we love you. We are going to appreciate your work forever. Even the older generation, the younger generation, they're all going to know who you are because, again, you've kept yourself relevant. whether that be through hip-hop, whether that be through wrestling. Your name is always in the know. So my personal preference is, hey, do we think that it's time for Rick to walk away? My personal preference says yes, it's time. Rick spent so much time in the wrestling business, and he's spent he's countless years just traveling up and down the world. Rick is in his 70s now. Rick no longer needs to do this, and he does it off the pure love, and I get it. But it may be time for Rick to hang it up. Sting is actually going to be on his way hanging it up here at 64 years old very soon. In fact, March 6th, 2024, at Revolution, is when Sting will be hanging up his boots. So we have to ask the question, could it possibly be time for Ric Flair to finally hang up those boots? He's done so much for the sport of pro wrestling. And again, he's going to be revolutionized. He's going to go down possibly, arguably, the greatest of all time. I don't want to see him continue to become a comedian version of a person we once knew. He doesn't need to do that. So I want to ask you guys your guys' thoughts on this Ric Flair drama. What do you guys think? Do we believe that it's time for Ric Flair to possibly hang up those boots? I guess I'm going to leave that up for interpretation. I'm going to let you guys decide in the comment section below. Again, if you guys would like, you can go back, you can read the tweet, you can go, and actually I believe that they are completely cutting the promo that was cut on AEW Rampage, rightfully so. All that to say that it's possibly time for Rick to hang those boots up.